Hey there, I'm Michelle Gorman, a 30-year-old housewife. After tying the knot, I decided to put my administrative skills to good use by becoming a computer class instructor. My hubby Mike is the big shot as the president of his dad's company. He's always busy, running around with work stuff. But every now and then, I catch him looking all contemplative. It's those moments when we kick back and enjoy our favorite movie dates that I see him unwind. I feel lighter when I'm with you, he'd tell me. It warms my heart knowing I can lighten his load, even if just a bit. I wish I could offer more than just a listening ear or a shoulder to lean on, but I've always struggled with speaking up, even since I was a kid. I've always been more of a listener than a talker, you know. Luckily, Mike's been my rock, constantly boosting my confidence. My big bro, who's 4 years older, used to be the one looking out for me. Back then, I kinda resented it, but now I see the value in having someone in your corner. Mike has an older brother who serves as the vice president in their father's company. His wife, Mindy, is close in age to me, and we get along well. She's a driven woman, both reliable and kind. I admire how she stands her ground and expresses her opinions, yet she is also understanding and adaptable. Seeing her confront the mother-in-law was truly impressive. However, since they live far away, I regret not being able to see them often. On the other hand, the mother-in-law behaves with the air of a company president's daughter, always confident. Yet her stubbornness and arrogance are evident. Michelle, you're the wife of Mike, the president. You should quit being a computer instructor and fully support your husband, she'd reprimand, overwhelming me with her pressure. Mike would back me up then, but she'd remain displeased. I sometimes felt relieved we lived apart. I hoped for a peaceful life with Mike and eventually to be blessed with children. But suddenly, Mike's father passed away from a heart attack. The news was so unexpected it was hard for everyone to accept. Yet Mike and his brother had to think about the company's future. Mike decided to stay in New York for a while. I returned home and waited for Mike's call. With the added responsibilities on the two of them, I was worried. After discussions with his brother, it was decided Mike would transfer to the New York headquarters. His brother became the president and Mike was appointed vice president. We searched for a house in New York and settled on a pre-built single-family home. Although it was a bit far from the station, it was in a less urban area, providing a sense of security. The house had good sunlight, promising a comfortable life. With Mike having to work late due to the handover tasks for a while, I made sure to create a comfortable environment at home so he could rest properly and prepared lunches considering nutritional balance. I wanted to do everything I could to support him. And just like that, a month flew by. I'm home, I'm hungry, thanks for working so late. I'll get dinner ready, thanks. Hey Michelle, my mom said she wants to come over this weekend. Is that okay? I had been concerned that she might be feeling down since my father-in-law passed away, so this was a relief to hear. Of course, we still have some areas to tidy up, but she's more than welcome. Thanks, I'll let her know. Oh, maybe I should invite my brother and his wife too. Yeah, that sounds good. As inappropriate as it may sound, moving here made it easier for me to frequently meet Mindy, my sister-in-law, which was a pleasant surprise. That weekend, we all gathered to catch up on the current situation and share memories of my father-in-law. It's really sad that Dad's gone, but I felt I shouldn't be down forever, so I started taking up a hobby. Seeing my mother-in-law's cheerful face brought relief. She always carried herself with elegance, always wearing beautiful dresses and lovely accessories. Today she looked stylish with a pale purple scarf that stood out. She seemed to have lost a little weight, but her firmness in advising Mike and his brother on company matters hadn't changed. However, since my father-in-law's passing, I felt that her strict remarks towards me increased. Michelle, we're running low on drinks. Could you go buy some? Jessica, I can go get them. Oh, can you? That would be helpful. Then she seemed to be more commanding towards me than she was with Mindy. I thought she might be struggling with the loss of her husband, so I decided to observe and let her comments slide for a while. After dinner, Mike drove everyone home and the night came to an end. Since then, for some reason, my mother-in-law began visiting our home frequently. She started criticizing my housework and complaining about Mindy. Moreover, she began going through our fridge without permission, which left me stunned. "Michelle, Mike's so busy right now. You should pay more attention to the meals you prepare for him." "What if he collapses too?" "Yes, I'll be more careful." "Also, there's still trash here. Can't you clean up perfectly?" It continued like this. It felt as though she was picking on me just to pass the time. But when Mindy would visit, she'd quickly leave, saying she had other things to do. She said it wasn't because she disliked me, but I felt otherwise. Perhaps she found it easier to assert herself over me, who rarely countered, than over Mindy, who always spoke her mind. I thought about finding a job to spend less time at home, but even after finding one, the harassment from my mother-in-law intensified. "Michelle, we ran out of barbecue sauce at our place, so get some while you're out." "Oh, I brought a container with me, so let me take some leftovers." Her audacity sometimes left me dumbfounded. She could just as easily buy premium ingredients from an upscale store. Then an incident occurred. A necklace I cherished disappeared. It was a keepsake from my mother, which I had kept safely on a shelf in my room. The only person I could think of was my mother-in-law, who frequently visited. Though I didn't want to suspect her, she often looked around our home and probably knew where most things were. Despite searching everywhere, it remained missing. So I decided to ask her about it. That's when she responded with a fierce yell, "You probably lost it yourself. How dare you suspect me? What kind of person are you?" "I'm sorry, I searched everywhere I could think of, but I couldn't find it. It's a keepsake from my mother, and it means a lot to me." More than the anger I felt towards being accused, I was devastated about losing my mother's keepsake, and tears began to roll down. "I don't care, it's just a necklace. Why don't you just have Mike buy you a new one?" I realized she wouldn't understand my feelings and decided not to discuss it further. However, incidents kept occurring where money from my wallet and other items around the house would go missing. Though I kept a watchful eye on my mother-in-law's actions, I never saw her take anything. Confused and emotionally exhausted, I confided in Mindy, who asserted that my mother-in-law was definitely the prime suspect. No one else had access to our home. The realization saddened me, yet there was no concrete evidence of her theft, and I couldn't understand why she would do such a thing, especially since she continued to live a lavish lifestyle from the inheritance left by my father-in-law. Seeing my distress, Mindy made a suggestion. Little did I know at the time where this would lead. About 2 weeks after speaking to Mindy, "I'll be off then, Michelle. Just relax and enjoy your trip, okay? Be careful. Mike and his brother were going on a business trip to meet with a company from another state." Knowing about their trip, Mindy thought it might be a good time for us to take a break and invited me on a short vacation. Having been mentally and physically drained recently, the idea of a getaway was appealing. I packed early and placed my travel bag near the entrance, waiting for departure time. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Wondering who it could be, I checked the video feed to find my mother-in-law. Not only her, but she was accompanied by several others. "Hello, Michelle, I brought some friends. Please open up." Opening the front door, I found my mother-in-law and about 7 of her friends, all carrying large bags. Were they going somewhere? "We're staying here tonight. Make us comfortable." Excuse. Me, didn't I mention it? We're seeing a play nearby tonight, and since it ends late, we're all staying here. This was news to me. My departure time was approaching. "Oh, did I inconvenience you? I heard from Jessica that you were open to having us." I hadn't heard anything of the sort, and it seemed she was making up the story as she went along. Growing increasingly frustrated, I replied firmly, "I'm sorry, but I wasn't informed of this. And I have plans." To my reply, she looked taken aback. "But you'll be back soon, right? We'll drop our bags and head out for a bit. Just prepare dinner and sleeping arrangements for us." Ignoring the fact that I had plans, I knew I couldn't let this slide. "I can't. I'm going on a trip." "A trip with whom?" "With Mindy." "Oh, just with Mindy. You can go any time. We've come all this way just for today." "How long are you going to make us wait?" Just then, I noticed something glinting around her neck. "Wait, that necklace you're wearing." To my astonishment, it was the same necklace that was a keepsake from my mother. "Jessica, where did you get that necklace?" "Why, it's just one of my collections. Is there a problem?" she answered with a smug look. "That can't be right. That necklace is a limited edition, and not many are out there." While I was exchanging words with her, Mindy arrived. "I was wondering why you didn't show up at our meeting place and didn't contact me. So this is what was happening." "I'm sorry I couldn't get in touch." Mindy, seeing my expression, instantly knew something was amiss. "What happened?" "I got upset because the necklace she's wearing is the same one as my mother's that went missing recently." "Oh, the one you kept in that box." Mindy purposefully said it loud enough for everyone to hear. Suddenly, my mother-in-law, trying to keep it from her friends, whispered to us, "Can you stop this? It's embarrassing." "Do you want to accuse me of theft?" "Yes, honestly, I find it suspicious," Mindy answered firmly. "Do you have any proof that I stole it?" "It's embarrassing having such unreasonable daughters-in-law. Please don't make a scene in front of my friends." With that, she turned back to her friends with a smile. "Well, let's go inside, everyone." As she attempted to move inside, I remembered something. The initials, my mother's initials, are engraved on the necklace. "Jessica, can I have a look, please?" Mindy quickly went behind her to check. "Enough of this. What's your mother's name?" "It's Kate Young." "So the initials should be K.I. There it is, the initials K.I. The friends looked horrified and stepped back. "Stop this. I didn't come here for this. Let's go, everyone." The friends, sensing the tension, quickly muttered, "We're not involved," and headed towards the subway. "Wait, it's some mistake." As she tried to follow her friends, someone stopped her. "What are you doing here?" "Huh? Weren't you supposed to be on a business trip?" Standing there was Mike. Turns out Mike's business trip was actually scheduled for the next day. To investigate his mother's actions, he had purposely given her a false date. Mindy had informed Mike about the missing items from the house after I had confided in her. Initially, Mike was skeptical, but upon visiting his childhood home and noticing several items identical to ours, he began to suspect theft. However, without evidence, he knew she could easily deny it, leading him to come up with today's plan. Inviting friends for an overnight stay was unexpected, but he was certain his mother would visit if she believed he wasn't home. "What do you want at our house?" I was just leaving. As she tried to leave, I stopped her. "Give it back. That necklace. Isn't that necklace the keepsake from Michelle's parents? Why do you have it, Mom?" "It's not what you think. I found it in my purse. Michelle must have set me up." Seemingly fearing the disadvantageous position she was in, my mother-in-law suddenly shifted the blame to me. "Do you really think such a lie would work? There's no way Michelle would do something like that. First, give the necklace back to Michelle. We'll talk after that." Reluctantly, she took off the necklace, threw it on the ground, and tried to run away. "Hey, wait. The three of us tried to chase her, but stopped shortly. We no longer need to. Huh. Why? 10 police officers stood in front of her. I, too, was unsure about what was happening, just staring at the bizarre scene. Then one of the officers said, "We received a report from a local resident. They said someone who seemed to be causing a ruckus here was often seen entering this house when the owners were away. They asked us to come quickly." "What are you talking about? I'm the mother of the son living here. Getting the police involved in a family matter," my mother-in-law retorted, looking annoyed. "Wait, what do you mean she entered when we weren't home? I never did such a thing. I always come when you're home." When we asked the police, they mentioned that someone had witnessed my mother-in-law sneaking into our backyard, likely using a spare key to get inside. Indeed, we had a spare key hidden beneath a plant pot in the backyard. This realization gave us chills and also explained the missing items. Mike had considered this possibility and was planning to observe her actions while we were out today, but he never expected to find out the truth in this manner. "Mom, why were you coming into our house when we weren't home?" "It's all lies. You're going to believe some unknown person's story." "But you did have my precious necklace, didn't you?" "I told you I found it in my purse." One of the officers stepped in, saying calmly, "Let's talk about this at the station." "But I didn't do anything, Mike. Say something." "Mom, stop this. I can't understand why you did this." Upon hearing her son's words, my mother-in-law collapsed to the ground. But just when it seemed like she had nowhere left to run and was feeling defeated, she suddenly flew into a rage. "Because after your father passed away, I felt so lonely, and seeing her always so cheerful, I couldn't stand it. I felt better seeing her troubled. I wanted her to feel the pain I felt." Mike was red-faced, hearing her irrational reasoning. "Mike, wait. Let me speak." Feeling the need to confront the issue head-on, Michelle stepped in front of an increasingly angry Mike. "I understand where you're coming from, Jessica. Perhaps I've been neglectful by always brushing off our talks. However, stealing is a different matter entirely. Did you want to upset me?" "Don't be ridiculous. Did you find joy in pushing someone to their limits with such a twisted and dirty scheme? Did that fill the void of your loneliness?" "Shut up. What do you know about me? If you're feeling down, then tell us. We can't read minds. Don't make fun of me. Why would I tell you anything, you worthless daughter-in-law?" "Mom, Michelle's right." Seeing the situation wasn't progressing, the police intervened, suggesting they move to the station. "Are you really going to take me in? I can't believe this." Despite her resistance, given the eyewitness accounts of the unlawful entry and the suspicion of theft from possessing my belongings, the police decided to question my mother-in-law, and so she was promptly arrested on charges of unlawful entry and theft. She wasn't convinced, continuously protesting, "Get me a lawyer. I'm innocent, and I can't eat this garbage." However, when her father visited her during visitation, he exploded in anger, telling her to deeply reflect on her actions. To that, her attitude completely changed as she cried and apologized. Considering her typically carefree behavior, he seemed to be the only authority she wouldn't defy. He further told her that unless she sincerely reflected on her actions, she shouldn't think of having a home to return to. Reluctantly, she seemed to accept the reality. Perhaps losing her husband had left my mother-in-law in search of her place. Were her fancy clothes and jewelry merely armor to keep herself strong? I even began to wonder if her different attitudes towards me and my sister-in-law were just attempts to mask her vulnerabilities. However, her excessive desires and inability to control them is a separate issue. Making wrong judgments led to this unfortunate incident. I was surprised to see the event escalate to this magnitude, but realizing that she had been using the spare key to enter our house without our knowledge genuinely terrified me. Later, I found out that the couple living diagonally across from us had reported her. The wife, who works from home, had noticed my mother-in-law entering our yard suspiciously multiple times and found it odd. I'm nothing but grateful for their brave actions. Since then, we've been leading a peaceful life. Just to be safe, we changed our locks and stopped hiding a spare key in the yard. Mike severed ties with his mother and made her promise not to contact us ever again. If she attempted to, he warned of legal action. After her release, she returned to her rural childhood home and is reportedly leading a humble life, a stark contrast to her past, lavish lifestyle. Being watched by her father, she helps around the house from early morning. I truly hope she reevaluates her past excessive actions. Meanwhile, my own father has moved in with us. In case my mother-in-law decides to pay another unexpected visit, he's here to ensure my safety. But there's another reason he's with us. I'm currently expecting our first child. Anticipating the birth of his grandchild, my kind father, and the support of Mike make me want to be a mother who embodies both tenderness and strength. While money and possessions can provide a sense of fulfillment, it's the presence of loved ones that truly fills the heart. We're discussing living arrangements and surrounded by those dear to us. We aim to protect our peace